this is Mercedes with Millennial Mondays, bringing you all the adult book recommendations to bring you joy. So pull up a pumpkin spice latte and scream into the void, this year will not defeat me. The first book that I want to talk about today is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Whew, this book. If you are looking for a book that will make you question your existence, this is the book for you. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue follows Addie, who in the early 1700s decides to make a deal with the devil. It is the early 1700s and she's about to be forced into a marriage that she does not want. So she goes into the forest one night and prays to the gods, the old gods, to save her from this marriage. But what answers is more the devil. And the devil answers her, but the deal that she makes with him is not so great. She makes a deal with him to live without human constraints, but there is a catch, like there always is. So she can live an immortal life throughout the centuries, but she is cursed forever to be forgotten by every single person she ever meets. As soon as they leave the room, as soon as they close their eyes to go to sleep, they forget who Addie is. So she does live without human constraints, but she's cursed to be forgotten through the centuries, until she meets Henry, who is also cursed himself by the devil, and their curses cancel themselves out. This book is really great. It deals with what does it mean to be human? Are you human if people forget you every single time they leave a room? What is life? What is your soul? What does it mean to live immortally without any real connections? So this is a very different kind of weird book. So there's a lot of existential questions that are in this book. I think it's a great book for anyone who is looking for something to completely sink themselves into and wanting to question the world around them and question their lives, question what it means to be themselves. This is not V.E. Schwab's first book. She has other adult books as well, the Gathering of Shadows series and the Villainous series that she also has. This is a standalone book. It will not be part of a series as far as I can tell. It does give you an ending that is very satisfying. This is definitely a book that you are going to want to read slowly because you're going to want to savor every single part of it as you read it. She also has books too for teens as well, if you've read her teen stuff. But I will say this is one of my favorite books I've read this year, and I give it 5 out of 5 stars. As a librarian, I get to read ARCs, which are advanced reader copies of books before they're published sometimes. And this weekend, I got to read Sally Thorne's second First Impressions, which doesn't come out till April 2021. It is the third book by Sally Thorne, and she writes romantic books, romantic fiction, but also books that make you laugh, that are humorous. Her first book, The Hating Game, was a huge success. And this is the book that I want to recommend for anyone who is looking for their next enemies to lovers romance book. This is very Pride and Prejudice set in an office where the two people in question just absolutely hate each other. But really, maybe it was just kind of bad first impressions. And so this is about Lucy and Joshua Templeton, book boyfriend. And it is about them working in an office together. I honestly have no idea what they were working for or what company they worked for. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that this is two people who are administrative assistants to CEOs of this company, and they absolutely hate each other, but they also kind of maybe love each other. So Sally Thorne is notable for her really funny books. Also, to let you know, The Hating Game is available on Hoopla. So you can download either the ebook or the audiobook directly onto your phone using your library account, and there's no waiting involved. We have this book as well in our system if you want a physical copy, but it is available on Hoopla. And the last book that I want to talk about today is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I don't have a physical copy of this book with me because it is checked out and I'm pretty sure there's a holds on it. But it also is available on Libby in audiobook and ebook format as well. This book, this book is if V.C. Andrews and Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier had a baby that was then raised by Stephen King. Like, that's the only way I can describe this book. It is a book that will give you the feels, it will give you chills, it will also really creep you out. So if you were looking for a really great Halloween or just spooky read, this book is for you. It is a book that deals with colonialism and classism, and it's something that will really make you think about Mexican history as well while you are reading it. This book follows Naomi, who is a socialite in Mexico during the 1950s, and her cousin has recently married this guy who's taken her to the countryside in Mexico, and his family is from an nobility family or an English family that came over and started a mine in the hills of Mexico in rural Mexico. And they built this giant English manor house in the middle of nowhere. And it's a really creepy gothic English manor house in the middle of Mexico. And they were the ones that ran the mine that gave in the town jobs. You start to find out pretty quickly there's something very wrong with this house. On to this place because her cousin, who's married into this family, sends her a really cryptic letter that's like, oh my gosh, come save me. And she's like, okay, what's going on? And she goes, and what she finds out, what is going on here, is very creepy. And that's all I'm going to say about this book because it's really an experience that you need to read for yourself. And it gets into a lot of colonialism and classism that I kind of wanted to learn more about Mexico history as well while I was reading it. And so it's a fantastic 5 out of 5 stars from me. Thanks for coming to Millennial Mondays. Now let's dance party out of here.